What's up, YouTube? This is Trainer Chucky, episode 2 of our Road to Mastery series, and we're starting off still one match off of Legendary like yesterday, and let's go ahead and get into our first match here. Out in the open, so opponent has first pick here. I think I'm probably going to ban out a Pierce. Pierce really strong. If you guys watched yesterday's video, you're going to know that I really struggle with Pierce a lot. Teammates ban Naja and Tick, two decent bans. Opponent goes with the wall break there. For Brock, we have Piper, Crow. Okay, two decent picks here. I think I can go for a Nani last pick. But I'll wait and see what the opponents choose. All right, opponents go Nani. And let's see what their last pick is. Angelo. So there's not great wall coverage, but is a Grom a decent pick? I think it's not terrible, honestly. I could also go Jean, but I think Grom might be decent here. Let's see. Let's try it out. Throwers are generally picked last pick, so I did try and abide by that. Let's go for a shield gear, damage gear. All right, disconnect. All right, let's hop into try and get this first matchup, guys. Another knockout, Bell's Rock. I'll ban Pierce again. I was playing some Showdown today, and Edgar is really dominant right now. So I think that could be last pick opportunity. Although I don't have its buffies, I think it's still pretty solid with the new rework to the Let's Fly gadget. Or I could also go for a thrower last pick if it's open like last time. I'm gonna flash the Grom for myself because it's not a good first pick, or I mean second pick, but teammate went ahead and chose it anyways. I think it's not terrible, but I might need to choose a brawler that can counter assassins. That could maybe be a Cordelius, or I guess I'll choose based off what I see the opponent select, but I think Cordelius is good assassin counter. They go for a Jean. Teammates suggesting Leon, but I don't have the buffies for it. And they go for a Mortis. So yeah, what is my best answer to that Mortis? I think Cordelius is definitely decent. Or I could go RT. Teammates are also suggesting Leon Crow. I think RT is going to be decent. With my super, Mortis should give me no issues, I think. All right, match one. Let's see, matching up against the Gene here. And I actually, wow, that Grom did well. I should have protected him better. Yeah, I gotta start sticking around the Grom a little bit better. I totally overlooked that fact. Good hits here. I'm gonna try and push up onto that Rico. Get out of here so I don't die. Well played by my Brock there. And I should be able to hopefully get a finish on this Rico, and that's round one. I'll pop Gadget so it starts recharging. I'll get back over onto this Grom side because last time Mortis did get an early dash, which was dangerous. Well played by my Brock there, and this should be easy cleanup. Try and stay alive. All right, well played by my teammates. Round one pretty easily won there. All right, pop my Gadget up. Mortis on right hand side. Wow, well played by my Brock again. He's playing really well. Hopefully my Grom, yeah, I'm able to stay, protect it. I think my teammates should be able to deal with that Gene by themselves, so hopefully this Mortis. All right, yeah, no threat there. This should be a clean sweep. Well played by my teammates. Securing that early kill on the Rico last round was really good. Made our work really easy. Well played by the Brock there. Unfortunately, our Grom did go down, but I was able to get the Gene down right there, so 2v1 situation. Go for a pinch here. And I should be able to pop into my super. All right, Brock gets it down anyways. Well played. Easy win there, and we're back in Legendary, guys. Good start to today's video. Let's see if we can keep this momentum rolling today. Get a little bit farther than we did yesterday. Triple dribble. I'm last pick again, or fifth pick, I guess. I think on this map, I'm gonna ban Griff. I think probably people have realized its wall break potentials. It's probably the best anti-tank in the game right now. I'll be curious to see where the pro tier list put him, but he's right up there. So I'll ban him out. I think I'll recommend my teammate maybe like a Crow solid anti-tank first pick. All right, great, he picks that up. I wonder if my teammate has buffies on the bull, so I think that's not a terrible shout. They go for the anti-tank of their own, so maybe we withhold from that bull pick, but they also go for a Pierce. I'm actually not really sure what's the best. Okay, a thrower. So maybe I'll want to go with something that's going to protect this thrower from aggro. So is this a good shade match? I'm not sure. Or Hank for that matter. Maybe Bull. Bull can protect against some aggro. We don't really have a tank. I think I'll try out the T-Bone missile. I actually didn't realize that it's now like a projectile. I was trying to, one of my heist matches, just press it and I thought it would auto heal me, but no, it's actually like a projectile now, which is pretty interesting change. They go for a thrower last pick, but thankfully we do have a throw of our own. And once I get my supers, I should be able to do some decent wall breaks. So it'll be interesting. I think that we may have an advantage here though. All right, match one. Wow, Pierce, yeah. Pierce giving me some difficulties like usual. Nothing surprising. Halfway to my super though. Seems like they're going to be able to get the early advantage in terms of positioning, but teammates do a really well job there of pushing up. And here's my first super. I'll break up some walls, try and just spawn camp this Siggy a little bit. Almost back to another super. Let's see if we can pinch out this Mo a little bit. And teammates do get him down, which is good. I have another super up, so should be able to be a pretty good goal scoring threat here. What I'll do is just place the ball right there and then super into it. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the kill, but I do open up a little bit more of the goal, which is not terrible. We also almost have our hypercharge, which is going to be really strong. All right. Let's see if I can stay alive here. I go down, but hopefully teammates should be able to defend potentially. All right, luckily I'm able to save that goal there. And I wonder if it's time to potentially go for a hypercharge play here. I ended up not going for it there. I think maybe it'll be more useful in overtime once the match ends. That is honestly bad positioning for me there. But let's see if I can get a hypercharge play real quick. And almost. Are we going to be able to get this through? Seems like potentially maybe yes. And great. Pretty good hypercharge play for me there. I do have a super lined up again. I'll try and get onto this Pierce maybe. I'm able to take Pierce down, which is not terrible. I think that they do have the slight advantage in overtime, but I'm not sure if my Crow's charged a hypercharge. He might be close to one. I'll try and get hit by one Ziggy shot. So I can charge my super. I don't want to feed the Mo, but I should be able to get into this Siggy pretty easily. Create a little bit of pressure. Hopefully my teammate can pass to the Crow, potentially. All right, that Mo does sort of misplay super there. And all right, match one's gonna end in a tie. I think that honestly, their goal was my fault, so hopefully I'm able to read that situation a little bit better, but I was able to make up for it with the hypercharge. So let's see if game two goes any better. I'm gonna try and push up a little bit on this Ziggy, but I just fed supers pretty much. All right, here's the Ziggy. He gets a super down. Mo has a super as well. So this is a pretty dangerous situation, honestly. And yeah, they do get an early goal this time, which is unfortunate. I think that Pierce has given me a lot of difficulties, but let me try and get a super in on him. Excellent. Try and feed some hypercharge off this bull. Unfortunately, I'm not really sure how we didn't score there, but I think I do have a hypercharge up, so I should be able to create a pretty solid goal scoring opportunity here. If I don't die too quickly. Mo might go for a play though. And yeah, okay, that's gonna be game, guys. This one's a little bit unfortunate because I think Sirius missed a clear goal scoring opportunity, but that's how the game goes sometimes. We're gonna need a win here if we're gonna wanna at least get a tie, so let's see. This time we are able to do a little bit better off spawn, I think. My teammates are. Ziggy's probably gonna launch a super into our spawn. All right, I do have a super upon respawn, which is good. I'll try and super onto this Ziggy. Almost get him down. Unfortunately, I couldn't finish that off, but Crow is able to. And let's see if I recharge the super. Almost. One hit onto me and I'll be able to get the super. All right, excellent. I think I'll try and get onto this Ziggy here. And then this Pierce. Excellent. Crow to me, and that's a goal. Okay, guys, really good start from us. Let's see if we're able to win this. That would be really phenomenal. I do have a hypercharge, which is going to be really strong if I can get my super with it. That Mo does have a super right now, which is dangerous. Sirius really well played there. And I have my hypercharge now, so let's see if I'm going to be able to make a play with it. All right, I'm going to hypercharge in. Boom, boom, boom. Try and get that guy as well. Strong double kill from me, and we should hopefully be able to... Okay. Unfortunately, Sirius does miss the shot again, but I think we will be able to defend. So it's going to end up being a tie, I think, which is good enough for me. As long as we're not losing elo, I don't really have an issue with it. Let's just be careful of that Mo. I think I'll put ball in corner just to be safe. And okay, this is going to be Okay, Crow hypercharge seals up the defense, which is well played. All right, guys. I did have a lot of deaths, but I was able to create some decent goal scoring opportunities for us, and we did end up gaining 20 elo from that actually. So let's go ahead and get into match 3. Kaboom Canyon Heist. And we're gonna have last pick this time. Well, my team is. I think Crow is gonna be a strong first pick. So maybe I'll ban that. If they go for like a Chuck first pick, I think I'll go for a Cordelius to counter that. Or RT potentially. Because it is open right now. They go for an Edgar. So what is my best response to an Edgar? Teammates going Bull. I may go for the defensive RT then, because that should do pretty well against Edgar. Chuck is still open, but honestly I think it's looking like a base race with my teammate flashing Bull and the opponents going Edgar already. Honestly, Pierce is also really strong, but I think we'll be relying heavily on this Bull for safe damage, so let's hope that stays open for us. But yeah, I think I'm fine with the Pierce pick. 2 strong defensive brawlers me and my teammates selected. Opponents go for a Jesse. And a Brock, so I think the Bull is still open. Teammate also flashing an alley. I think that could be good into the Brock and Jesse, although the middle bush could be broken up by the Brock, so it's questionable between the alley and Bull, but I think that as long as we're able to successfully defend this Edgar and the hypercharged turrets from the Jesse, we should be able to win this game comfortably. Me and the Pierce do outrange, I think, the Jesse, and Brock, it's going to just be similar range, so we'll see how this plays out. Wow, okay. That's cool. We have 2 Masters teammates. That's what we're trying to get like, guys, so let's show them a little bit of love. Thumbs up. Here's the Edgar. I'm able to tap up really well. Let's get some hits on the safe. Good start from us. Gonna try my best not to feed this Jesse. And wow, we're really doing well against that Edgar. First shield should be down almost. Pierce gets it down, excellent. This Jesse almost down. Okay, Pierce does really well there to kill that Edgar. I'm actually curious if I mark the safe or not, because I'm not sure how much damage I'm actually doing to it. But, alright, we do get another. I think I'll try and super this Edgar, excellent. Charge up another super, and that guy's down. I think I'll go for I think I'll wait a little bit to do the hypercharge. Wait for us to get one more safe level down. Alright, excellent. And here's my hypercharge. And Pierce is gonna get it down for game. He stole that little kill at the end. Really dominant performance there. I think we had a great outdraft. I think Edgar first pick was a little bit of a liability. I was able to pick into that with my RT. And then we're easily outranging that Jesse And Ali's playing really well. Well played by my teammates. Wow, Edgar got into the bush pretty quickly. Ali takes it down really well. Tapped up the Jesse, should be marked for the Ali, which is great. Let me try and get some hits in on the safe. And unfortunately, I do bounce that Jesse shot onto my teammates, but let's get a few safe hits in. And try and deal a lot of damage to that Edgar as much as possible. Ali's able to take it down. I won't use my gadget since I'm one hit off super here. I'll take this turret down. And try and mark up this Edgar for my teammate. Luckily, we're able to avoid its less fly gadget. Jesse does have a hypercharge, but I'm pretty confident that we're going to be able to defend it. All right, well played by us. Edgar hypercharge. I do not currently have a super, but I think we should be able to defend this guy. Okay. I'll pop my gadget and then go for this hypercharge right here. And wow, really well played by us. It's gonna be an easy game. Pierce finish it off potentially. I'm gonna try and safe block so we get that 100-0. And well played. That's one of my most dominant victories ever, guys. That's really great. Pierce 17-3, insane stats. Ali 18-6. I played all right, 7-3. Probably could have avoided some of those deaths, but it's a good win. Okay. Next match is going to be Bell's Rock. I'm honestly really digging the map pools that I've been getting today. I feel pretty lucky that it's been knockout brawl ball predominantly. So Bell's Rock again, we have first pick. I'm going to go ahead and ban the Pierce. I think that I'll flash the Najia ban as well, just so my teammates hopefully ban one or the other. I'll go ahead and ban the Pierce. And they ban Najia, perfect, guys. I think that's pretty good. If you flash multiple brawlers, you can indicate what you want banned. First pick, I think that Jean is a solid choice. RT is a solid choice as well. Yeah, Jean. Okay, I'm happy that he went with Jean. I think Jean's a safer first pick than RT. They go with the Bell, which is pretty standard. And the Leon. I think that potentially I could go for a Crow or a Grom. Well, we don't have last pick, so I think Crow is going to be better for me. Let's see what teammate has available. I think that potentially... I like the Gray. I think that if he plays that well, that does make sure that the opponent can't last pick a thrower, which is important. I actually overlooked that. And then I'll go Crow, because I think it's good into the Leon. Confirm my gears. And all right, I like that build. Let's see what opponent goes for last pick. They go for a thrower, but we do have Gene Pool and Gray. So I think it's not the end of the world. I think that if we're able to open up the map slightly with our Walking Cane and Gene Pool, we should be able to deal with that Sprout. All right, round one. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, unfortunately, I think I'm able to get this Leon down, but I'll go down as well. And yeah, that Sprout actually did dominate us. So I thought that the gray would be good into throwers, but I'm not completely sure. I think maybe by itself it wasn't good enough, potentially. All right, Leon is super. All right, I'm able to just barely get that guy down. I think that Leon does have a super still. Hopefully I'll be able to scout it if it does end up coming. Me and Gene both have pretty solid scouts. Could be coming from that direction. I am marked right now. Gene's able to scout it. Here it is. All right, well played by us. I do have a jump as well, so hopefully we're gonna be able to take down this Sprout, but I wanna be careful. I don't wanna jump it too early in case the teammates are able to protect it. I did give Leon a super, which is dangerous. Yep, Leon did just pop super. Hopefully teammates are aware of that. Okay, Leon wasn't able to actually get up far enough to use the super effectively. I think potentially this is a good opportunity to jump the crow. And all right, that was actually a bad play for me. I end up going down, so I think maybe I wall peeked a little bit too hard. Unfortunate there for me. If the Gene is able to hit a pull, maybe it's still a possible victory. But yeah, I'm gonna have to take the blame for this loss. Hopefully I'm gonna be able to play a little bit better next round. Okay, round 2. I'm gonna try and chip that down a little bit. We're able to get some damage onto the Leon. Wow, I do take a lot of damage there. Maybe we're able to slightly pinch this Sprout a little bit. That Leon is also really low. Wow, almost a kill there. And wow, really well played by my gray there. Leon supered. I'm gonna try and get my gadget to stay alive. All right, I do tap up the bell one time. And should be able to take it down. Well played by my teammates. We have hypercharge, pull. I'm very close to a super. So this should be game 1 for us. All right, I did charge up my super there. Gray goes pretty aggressively and is successful with it. I'm gonna jump onto this bell. I'm able to secure the bell. And 3v1, this would be very shocking if this Sprout is able to take us all down, and very well played by my teammates. If we're able to replicate the first round of match 3, I think we'll be able to win this game, which is gonna be a nice turnaround for us. I'm shocked that the Leon is able to hit me and I'm missing my shots on it. I think it just has much better timing, I guess, because I don't think it outranges. Hopefully I'm able to take out that Leon. And I do. So we have a 2v1 and a gray. So hopefully that gray is going to be able to potentially charge some super... I played that pretty poorly there. Shouldn't have gotten hit by the Sprout, but that's really unfortunate. It's a blunder by me. Hopefully this doesn't cost us the game. Okay, I mean, I'm just really struggling right now. Hopefully I can get that bell down. I think I do. And wow, this Sprout is really proving to be difficult for us. Yeah, this is really unfortunate. Sprout did really well there. That's an outdraft. But let's stay on the positive side here. First loss of the day. We've done pretty well. Bridge too far. Got canceled. All right, first hot zone of the day, Dueling Beetles. This is one of my more favorite hot zone maps. I think it's not too crazy. I have first pick. I think that I'll probably ban maybe, I think I'm gonna go Crow. So do I ban like a Griff or a Thrower? I'm not really sure, but I do think that Crow is my best first pick here. They go for a Grom first pick, which should leave open for us to go with some aggressive brawlers. I'm going to see if teammates... I'll recommend a Miko because I do like actually playing Miko. I would offer the switch. Teammate recommends Edgar or flashes Edgar. I'm not really too happy with that. Okay, we do get another disconnect. A lot of disconnects, which is kind of surprising to me because it's so early season, but let's see what the next map, triple dribble. I don't think this map will be disconnected. All right, I'm gonna ban, honestly, I could ban Griff again. Because anti-tanks are going to be, I think, the predominantly best first choices, first pick brawlers, so that's why I did that. So let's see what the opponents pick, and based off of that, I will select my brawler. They go for a Colette, so I'm not going to want to play a tank into that. I could go for my own anti-tank, or... yeah, I think my own anti-tank. I think Crow is not going to be terrible here. Ruffs for the wall break. I will hold the pick for a little bit, see if something else is open. I'm getting suggested Leon, but I think I'll prefer Crow. I'm going to go ahead and proceed with the Crow. Let's see how the opponents respond, and... teammate flashes a Leon. Not terrible, but I'm going to be interested in what the opponents choose. Cordelius. A Thrower last pick could also be open. I'm surprised. Yeah, I didn't realize Rico was open. Let's see what thrower his teammate has up. If he has a Sprout or a Dynamite, those two would have been pretty solid, but Willow could also be a good shout because if they don't go for a tank, Willow... Alright, yeah, great. I think Willow is going to be pretty solid here because they don't have any wall break. So that should be a pretty free matchup for him. I do outrange the Colette and the Cordelius, and then Meeple is kind of worrying because of his super, but I think that it's going to be a pretty even matchup. Let's see how this goes. Alright, I do tap up the Colette once. It does get 2 hits on me as well. I forgot that Cordelius does have the jump gadget available. Hopefully this Willow is able to defend for us. I'm going to try and reposition a little bit. I'm able to get a hit on the Meeple, but it trades, gets hit on me. Willow forces that Cordelius back a little bit. And I'm going to just try and prevent the Cordelius from getting into our spawn. And this guy should be through. Excellent. Willow has a super. I have a super. I think this is a pretty good outdraft from us. I have a hypercharge. And alright, I do go down to the Cordelius, unfortunately. This is slightly suspect, but I'm gonna just go ahead and be safe, place my hypercharge. And alright, I'll get that ball over to the corner. Maybe jump onto this Meeple, he looks pretty low. Alright, I unfortunately did aim that in the wrong direction, but the Cordelius does go down. Willow has hypercharge. I'll pass it over to the Willow. And alright, I trade with the Cordelius. I gotta work on not dying in those instances because that was an unnecessary death there, but still a pretty easy victory for us. And alright, good game. Let's see if we can replicate this. I do unfortunately go down, and so does Ruffs. Let's see if this Willow's going to be able to clutch the 1v3, but it might not be fully possible. Thankfully, we were able to respawn in time. The ball is in a location right now where the Willow could make a play. But I think this Colette's gonna just be easy enough to take down as is. Well played by Willow there. Let's try and kill that Cordelius. Nice. I do have a hypercharge, but I'm pretty low. I don't want to waste it. Alright, now I'll place it here. Try and shield up. Quick double kill there. And then just get onto this Colette. Beautiful. Alright, I'm surprised that they were able to respawn that quickly. I thought that was going to be an easy walk-in, but... Oh, wow. That's unfortunate that the Cordelius was able to get the ball out in time, but my poison should almost kill it. A few hits down on that meeple. We're in a pretty strong spawn trap on them right now, which is great. Ruffs with the hypercharge. I should be able to just super in here. And unfortunately, I don't take them down. It's questionable super for me actually, because now they might be able to break out of that spawn trap, which was maybe not ideal for me. Well played by the Willow. Hopefully it's able to get a super soon. I'm going to try and pass to the Ruffs. And great composure there from the Ruffs for game. Alright, so I did put up some decent stats there, so really well played by us. And 100 elo, that's pretty solid. Let's go ahead and get into the next match. And hot potato, okay. I think that this is honestly my favorite heist map in rotation. Pretty quick games, pretty aggressive. That's what I like to see in heist. With that being said, I think that I like Griff as a ban. We do have first pick though, so I think I will ban the Griff so that I was gonna say ban the Griff so the Miko stays open, but teammate ends up banning the Miko. Crow is still open. I think probably the enemies will choose it, but hopefully they don't. They go for a Colt and Crow. Okay. So those are two ranged brawlers, but can I play something aggressive into them? Or potentially could I play a thrower? Grom may be a risky pick, but I know that throwers here are actually somewhat decent. I know it's not a last pick, but I hope that the opponents don't go for like a... Okay, they go for a thrower of their own. So it's not the end of the world. Maybe I'll go for... I think shield and damage are alright. And then yeah, this X Factor is going to be the better star power to get safe damage. So, alright. I think that my Edgar has a good matchup into the Sirius and jumping onto the Colt. And I hope that we don't charge up the Crow too quickly. And if all of those things go according to plan, it should be a somewhat manageable matchup. Alright, wow. I have not been playing much Grom, and those attacks, I've only landed one hit. So here's the strength though. I should, if I'm able to even land my attacks on the safe, deal pretty solid damage, but alright, Edgar's playing really well. The map is opened up now though. I'm able to get the Colt down. Yeah, with the open map, it seems like the other team will have the advantage. Crow has a super. We're not completely out of it yet, but it is looking not completely ideal for us. Although, Let's see if I'm able to land this on the safe. M's hyper really good. And then I'll land a hyper on the safe. And we are able to make a little bit of a comeback here. I'm able to not kill the crow. It has a hypercharge. Two of them have hypercharges right now. I think crow's trying to break it down to 50% and then use its hyper. But hopefully Edgar might be able to base race here. I'm able to not get the crow down, but okay, it's gonna be pretty close. I think that we are gonna lose this one. Yeah, unfortunately. I had a pretty poor start. I think that maybe next match, if I'm able to start better, we'll be able to turn it around, but yeah, we do end up losing there. Edgar played really well, though. I wonder if he's going to be able to replicate that. All right. Gonna throw my 3 shots down the middle. I hit one of them. I am charging up a little bit. Wow, okay, that Colt really snuck up on me there. So yeah, that was pretty poor for me. But yeah, all right. Grom was not the right pick here. That was really poorly picked from me. I'm really getting dominated. I'm just really struggling to hit anybody. It's pretty unfortunate. It's not completely over yet, but I think I'll just try and get a little bit of prevention with my hyper there, because we need to ensure this crow doesn't get on our safe, but he is able to get the last pop down, and then Sirius should be, yeah, taking us down. All right, really poorly played for me there. But, okay. Looks like we're gonna have enough time for one more match, so hopefully we're able to end it on a positive note today. One more heist match. Bridge too far. I'm gonna go ahead and ban maybe a Pierce. I think he could be decent here. Teammate with the Crow ban's also a pretty solid ban. So open to me, I think I could go with a Brock. I think Brock will be pretty safe, or Angelo. Take advantage of the water. All right, no response. Let's try and get one more quick match in. And all right, we have a hot zone. Open map. Opponents have first pick. I'll probably ban Crow, although I want to also flash the ban on Pierce as well. But unfortunately, it didn't get banned. Teammate has fully equipped Griff Buffies. I wonder if they'll last till 6th pick though. If they do, that will be pretty impressive, pretty beneficial. I might consider a Gus to outrange that Clonsy. I could also consider maybe a Penny. Penny could be decent. Yeah, I think the Hypermortar might provide slightly more utility, so I'll go for the Penny. They're going to go for a Chuck, which is really interesting. I don't know if I fully agree with the Ollie pick into a Clonsy. I think that could feed pretty easily. And they go for a Mortis. And I'm not sure, honestly, about Sirius either. Thrower into Mortis doesn't seem like the best move. But I guess let's see how it plays out. Okay. Last game of the day. We do have an early lead. Wow, that Mortis came in really quickly. I was not even really paying attention and I was already dead. And seems like this Chuck is also near charged up. All right, well played by my Colette there though. I think that Colette gadget is actually surprisingly good into the Chuck. I'm gonna get my Hypermortar down actually. And I almost stay alive, but I do get the Chuck down, thankfully. Seems like they have a pretty decent advantage. They don't really have a means of taking my Hypermortar down. Colette really well hypercharged there. I'm able to land some solid hits onto Mortis with my gadget. And Chuck dies quickly. Wow, that Colette Trance gadget is actually really good. And all right, there we go. First game actually pretty well from us. Let's hope we can replicate this and end on a high note. All right. That Clancy's coming in. I'm trying to get some hits onto Chuck, kill that guy. And I should be able to kill the Clancy. Get a mortar down. Chuck hasn't set up yet. My mortar takes it down, thankfully. Mortis does take me down. Or I guess it was the Clancy actually, but no problem. I have another turret up. and a hypercharge. So I'll get that hypercharge mortar down now. Help out the Colette a little bit. Hypercharge is gonna help me press up a little bit. And Clancy's almost down. And I'm able to get the Clancy down, but seems like the Mortis might try and dash me, and I'm able to get a good gadget onto it. Tier 3 Clancy is scary, but let's see if we're able to maintain this little bit of zone presence. But yeah, this game, I think the Clancy got into it a little bit too early, unfortunately. It's not completely over yet, but 98%, it does seem like if that Chuck comes in, yeah, okay. I think I fed the Clancy a little bit too much in those initial interactions. I got to really watch out not to do that, because that was the key difference between matches 1 and 2, I believe. All right, guys. Last match. Let's hope we're able to end it on a win. I really do want to avoid giving the Clancy any hits on me. And this is a much better start. I do end up giving it a few hits there, which is unfortunate, but hopefully we're able to prevent this Clancy from reaching gold. And I do have a Hyper Mortar now. I'm going to try and place it actually a little bit more aggressively. I'll place this gadget right here in anticipation of the Chuck. I do get the Chuck down. We do have a decent advantage here. Hyper Mortar stays up. Colette really well played there. And Clancy does get a super down, but wow, I got a really good gadget hit there on both of those guys, and it seems like this will be game. Well played by my team. And this is a solid way to end it. We're able to end off on a win today. And we do put in some good work there, Colette as well. So let's look at our record for the day, guys, before we conclude. So 1, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2, 4-2. All right, 4-2. So we're up 2 matches on the day, 61-51. And with that, I will be concluding this video. Thanks, guys.